Hello, everyone. So I am here with James Kot. Hello.
Hey.
And I'm excited because it's like the launch of what is it, Hallmark Plus, and
Mm,
also the new series, The Chicken Sisters. And I had KJ on, who is the author of the book, and she
yes.
told us about the book, and we fell in love with the book. So we had people who were in love with the book, and now we're trying to get them, excited for the series. And then we have people who are excited for the series, but we want them to read the book. So we're trying to do two things when
Yeah.
she was on. And people contacted me, and they're excited. So I'm
Oh,
so
good.
happy you're here. You're here
Yeah.
because you're an interesting character because in the book, your Frank Jr. is not really in the book.
Yeah. Frank Jr.'s gone to the other side at the start of the book. So having the opportunity to kind of play within the series where there's not a huge frame of reference for Frank Jr. and what he should be or what he should do. But yeah, it's been really cool to be that part of the series.
Mhm.
When fans don't have necessarily an idea of what Frank might get up to
Right,
next season.
right. So this is cool. So you got like a blank slate sort of, and you don't have to live up to something that it's especially when it's a book and you love a book, and then
Yeah.
people are like, that's not what Frank looks like. That's not who Frank is. I love when they say stuff like that. But before we get started, there are just some friends here. We're just gonna say hi to them. Just
Okay.
allows other people to jump into. I'm sorry, Janice is here and she's saying good afternoon to you. And Janice is always in all the podcasts and she loves Hallmark. She watches everything.
Oh, fantastic.
She's she's a good critic too. She really is. Like she's very fair. And here's Rona. Rona's from New York. So we got people from all over.
Hi,
And
Ron.
Christina, she's from Ohio. And Rona's like, hello, Frank Jr.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Christina's welcoming you too. So where is it that you're from, James?
I'm from Canada. I'm in Vancouver. So the
Nice.
production was filming up here and yeah, auditioned up here. But I'm originally from the prairies in Canada. So
Oh,
a little,
really?
yeah. Actually, Stephen Hazar, Hallmark friend,
Mhm.
is we're from the same small town in Saskatchewan. Yeah, it's
Really?
a funny place in the
Cool.
long name. Yeah, yeah, that's really
Very
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
So how'd you make your way over to Hallmark? What's your little history that you can share with us?
Well, I did a movie years ago. Must have been it was one of
You
my
were
first
10?
jobs. Yeah, it was called Dear Prudence with Jane Seymour. It was a TV
Mm,
movie, and that was probably one of my first jobs out of school, out of out of college after I graduated. But then it was a number of years before I did another thing for Hallmark. So it started very early with Hallmark, and then there was
yeah,
a period where I wasn't working with them, and now I've been working with them quite a bit over the last 5 years or so. So it's a wild
it's
journey to start
amazing.
on that movie. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, and tell us just tease a little what you can about the storyline for Chicken Sisters
Mm.
without giving away too much.
Well, yeah, sure, absolutely. I'll try not to give away too much, although it would
Okay.
be hard to in a 45-minute interview to give away. There's so much, so people are it would be hard to give away all of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a family drama. They're saying that it's dipped in Southern charm with a
Dip.
saucy side of romance.
Okay.
And I think what the Hallmark fans will love about it is that it is a show, even though there's a lot of conflict in the first pilot episode. It's setting up this kitchen clash. It's got a big heart and a great sense of humor, and I think there's a lot to see, but it's a kind of a mix of genres.
Mhm.
There is a big warm heart, there is romance, but there's also really funny stuff that happens, and some pretty serious drama as well that you might recognize in a more network style
Mhm.
production as well. So it's got kind of
Yes.
some great variety for everyone.
I like that. I feel like the whole vibe of Hallmark Plus is more like it's like this network. We have reality TV that like shows that are even going to be included. So this is like a
Yeah.
cool like niche, I guess. I guess we could say that's what it is. Now, Chicken Sisters, I am like rooting for it. I'm rooting for it if for no other reason. The cast, I don't care. The cast is amazing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't care if you all just sat around and had a conversation. How could it not be good? You know, it's gonna be. I mean, you have some great leading ladies. Who plays your wife? Who is it that's your wife?
Yeah, Skylar Fisk plays Amanda. We've got Leah
Mhm.
Thompson playing my mom. We've got
Yep.
Genevieve Angelson playing May, and Wendy Malick playing Gus.
Oh
Uh,
my, I love
and
it.
yeah, it was a blast on set from the top down. The four women at the top really set the tone for a very playful, creative environment where we had lots of laughs. Even on those long set days, it was always a lot of fun with them.
I
Yeah,
know. We got to see some of the behind the scenes photos. For anybody that didn't see the my chat with KJ, you can it's evergreen. It's listed under my channel, and
it's great. Yeah.
she put us, yes, some pictures we shared, and she gave us some tidbits, which is what is it, Marinic? How do you say it? I forget how
Oh
what the town.
yes, Marinac. We're saying Marinac.
Marinac.
Um,
Marinac.
yeah,
That's
in an
it.
accent, of course. So when I say it now, it sounds a little funny. But yeah, I didn't realize until I listened to your interview that it was an anagram for America. That was so
Yes.
clever.
I know. I thought that was really cool. And women, do you have a Southern accent in this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for you
Oh,
to watch. Yeah, 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 absolutely,
I'm loving
absolutely.
it.
I don't
Okay.
sound like this on the show. I'm sure you'll get some mentions that it doesn't sound like Frank Jr. at all. But luckily for me, I'm not Frank Jr. in real life, so
Right.
that's
Okay.
a good thing.
Tell us tell us about Frank Jr. What can we know about him going in?
Well, I mean, he's not the best guy or the best husband when we first meet him. He's not. He's got a lot of growing to do, and it seems, kind of bleak. Frank, he's kind of a pain, but he tries, and I think at the source
Mhm.
of Frank, he's got a lot of character and a big heart. He's just in a lot of pain that I think we'll kind of learn about as he
Okay.
goes through the series. But in the first episode, he's grumpy and drinking and not
Mm.
that nice to his mom or his wife and demanding. So, and doing things behind people's backs to maybe get an edge on Team
Right,
Mimi's
right.
for Team Granny's. So you'll have to watch it later tonight. You'll see that he's a very different guy than than I am. Yeah.
So we're going to love to hate you at first.
Well, at first I think you're gonna feel like,
Mm.
what's the deal with this Frank guy? Like
Right, right.
there must be more to him because he's in the first little while you're not sure what to make of him. He doesn't seem like the best person, and the women around him are quite kind and trying, and the Team Franny's clearly has a Frank problem, as we learn as the series
Okay.
progresses. But I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, I have a question. Did they do a table read? Like, did you know ahead of time, like what the flow and how the storyline was going to go, or did you get it in like dribs and drabs?
Yeah, we did a table read of the first two episodes, I believe,
Okay.
and then I think that was it, just because of time. We finished shooting at the end of July, and
Yes, I saw
September
that.
10th is already coming out. So, yeah, we were lucky to get that first table read once production had landed, and everyone was there, and were able to read and be together. But then quickly, people scattered. People had so much work to do afterward the table read.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could, you could feel that, we would love to be able to do more table reads in the future. Hopefully for season two that happens. That would be fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Season 2, I heard from KJ because I know like we don't ever do spoilers, but she had said that season 2 was written. So I wasn't sure if it was out there, if it's a real go or you don't know and you're hoping for season 2.
I'm not sure. I'm hoping for season two. I
Okay.
can't confirm that there are plans of
Yeah.
that yet, but I think that's great news that KJ said that.
She said it was
So
written. Katie did. I know you didn't. She said that there was a season 2 written, but we all know how that works. We know how you could be up to the day before and then it's no.
let's put it out into the
Yes.
atmosphere.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yes.
sure.
Yes. Okay. All right. Now, before we go any further, let's just see what our friends here are saying. I want to share with you.
Okay.
So, Cindy said she just finished the book and she's looking forward to the series.
Hmm,
Yay. Thank you.
great.
And Jan says it really sounds like a lot of fun. I think it is going to be a fun one to watch.
It is.
Lots
It
of
was fun to
emotions.
make. It'll be fun to watch. Yeah.
Rona says, saw the first episode this morning, and Frank Jr. does not seem very nice.
She's right.
Mm,
She's right. She's right. He's not starting on the best foot for sure. But
Well,
there's room for a lot of growth that way as well.
okay.
So
Yes, like a good character story arc for you, right? Like
absolutely, a lot
redemption
of
along the way. Now, I'm interested in that because I'm reading the book. Not that the book, there was anything wrong with the book at all. It's very family friendly. But you know how Hallmark has a reputation of being very careful in their storylines and what they do share and don't share. And they're really good. Like if you're on the Hallmark channel, there's one type of a vibe. And then if you're on the Mystery channel, it's a little more grittier.
yeah.
Are there bad words in this episode, or is it very family friendly? Can watch with the kiddos, maybe HELL and DAM kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's that. I mean, they're
Okay,
definitely kind of expanding the boundaries for what they can do.
gotcha.
I
All
would
right,
still say it's family friendly, but maybe
right.
not for little kids.
Gotcha.
You kind of
Okay,
want to. I would vet the first episode, and depending on your
and
kid,
go from there.
see if it's
Yeah,
appropriate for them. But yeah, I think the older the better. I wouldn't say that it's for young kids. It's more of a
okay.
show for
Okay.
it's
Now
older people that are interested in family dynamics of a feud from generations.
I actually think that's why I loved it so much because the book itself, when I read it, I was like, "Oh, I this is like a breath of fresh air," because it wasn't just romance. I mean, in the book itself, I had a tiny, tiny bit of romance, but it was really about family dynamics and what you thought was one thing turned out to be something totally different. So that's why I like that you could tell in the book, and I don't know if you've read the book, but in your character, you could tell even though he was not alive that there was a backstory that we were missing on him.
Mm,
Like there was stuff that was
right.
why he was the way. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is going to be good. Jan says sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun for us fans digging into the whole thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Now, Christina is saying she can hope she can watch it. So I have Hallmark movies now, which turned into Hallmark Plus, which
Yes.
is wonderful. And it's actually not that much more money. For me, it's $7.99 if you pay each month, which I think is amazing because there's all kinds of goodies that are on this. And I've been
Yeah.
talking about it all along.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. There's
this,
definitely some incentives beyond the programming as well from Hallmark, which is very cool that they're kind of making it both things, which they do well. So
yes,
yeah, it's very clever.
which I love. Now there's 8 episodes, correct?
8 episodes. Yes.
And the first episode was today because of the premiere, but then we get a second episode on
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Two this week. So
Okay.
they're definitely encouraging people to tune in this week and get caught up on the first couple episodes, and then it'll come out Thursdays moving
Okay.
forward to the fall.
All right, which is good because then on Sundays I'm going to recap and then see who I can grab. I already talked to the publicist. I'm like, "Are you sure? Can any of these people come on so we could talk more about it?" I'm excited. Now,
Right.
and you could come back. You could come back when we get into something a little more juicier into your
All
storyline
right.
if you can fit it
Look,
into your schedule. Now, Rona says she's glad Frank will grow into a better person because remember she's
well,
already
we don't
said it.
know. Maybe it's pretty bad at the start.
No, now I can't wait. And Cindy says she's actually watching it through Amazon Prime. I didn't know that. Good for you, Cindy. And so
Oh,
is
cool.
Rona. Okay,
Great.
that's cool. So there's another option for you, Christina, and whoever else is out there. Just because no one, I mean, these people are commenting doesn't mean there's not other people out there listening
Yeah.
to this scintillating conversation that we're having. All right, now, Frank
Yes.
Jr. What can you tell us that is something that you were like, "Oh, yeah, I wanna be Frank Jr. I want this character." What was it that you're like, "Hmm,
Oh,
I
that's a
wanna
good
be him."
question. Well, when you're reading, especially the first audition, you have limited information from the
Mm,
casting director, from the
mhm,
producers. They don't want to tell you everything. They want to make sure that you're putting your stamp on the character.
right.
And I think there were some scenes from the pilot, but then there was the third one later on, which didn't totally know what was going on in the story. So you kind of
Mhm.
have to make choices about like what you would want to do with the character. Uh,
Okay.
and I thought that was a real opportunity to give the character, some comedic relief because in the first episode, you're not exactly cheering for the guy. So I think that really helped. That I wanted to give someone that is exhibiting behavior that you wouldn't want to be around, or
Okay.
certainly exhibit yourself. That you want to give the guy a heart and somewhere
Mm.
to kind of grow, even if he, stumbles along the way, to give him that, humanity that you and I share and
Cool.
everyone shares, rather than just kind of a bad guy on the surface in the first episode who's, maybe not as likable as a friend that you would have in your life, or someone that you're
Yeah.
meeting for the first time. Yeah.
Now, okay, so do you have like a special look? Special Are you a messy, sharp dresser? Or like how tell us about like your physical appearance, I guess.
Well, on the show, he's wearing, you know, it's actually a funny story. He wears kind of
I
boot
want to
cut
hear it.
jeans, cowboy boots, backwards
Uh-huh.
hat, Wrangler shirt, t-shirt, kind of open. And then
Okay.
when I'm working at the restaurant that is owned uh, by my mom and
Mhm.
myself,
Mhm.
we wear Franny's polos, the blue
Mhm.
polo. Yes,
Mm.
Team Franny's. And when Kitchen Clash comes around, it's the blue polos against the world. So yeah, that's kind of the look that he's going on. But it reminded me of a story that Frank's not the most done up guy.
Mhm.
Funny story that happened on set is there was a scene we were filming at church, and it'll be funnier kind of relative to where we are in the story, but I can't give that away.
Okay.
Uh, and I realized the pants that I was wearing for this scene were like really tight, like fitted. And I was like, what's going on with this? Like, I wore them all the way to the set and asked the
Mhm.
wardrobe person, like, hey, like, what's going on? Is like Frank kind of like dressing up? Like, why is he wearing like tight pants to church? It's kind of strange. And they realized that they were another character's pants. They were Sergio's pants that I had been sent down with. And based off the pilot episode,
Mhm.
that's a funny mistake.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll have to take my
Alright.
word for that,
No,
Rock.
we will, and we've heard a little bit about some of the other characters from KJ. She shared a little bit. So,
Okay,
okay,
great.
just the idea that you had on the wrong man's pants is funny.
Not a great look, it was very funny, but they sent them down immediately. They were like, "Oh my god." They
Alright, I love
fixed
that.
it.
I love behind the scenes little flubs and funny stories. I love things like that.
Yeah.
So, now the series itself, so we have right now in Hallmark, when we're thinking about series in general, we of course from the Hallmark Channel, we have When Calls the Heart, and we have The Way Home, very different. In the past, we had one season of Ride, and I think that some of the cast members from Ride are also in this series,
Yeah,
right? Yes.
Jake is on the show. Yeah, Jake Kot.
Yes, yes, yay! Because they had great cast. And, of course, we don't have the Good Witch anymore or Chesapeake
Right.
Shores. So these are all, like, different. What's different about this one? What do you think is its uniqueness compared to the
Oh,
rest?
that's a good question, Roxanne. I mean, all those shows kind of have a definitive style and point of view, and I think
Right.
you know Annie McBain's writing and the entire writing team, Aaron and Jen and all the writers, it's got a really great point of view
Cool.
about family dynamics. This competition, of course, creates like super high stakes for
Yes.
everyone, and I think just the amalgamation of tones, that
Okay.
it's not one thing, that
Mhm.
it does have romance and family drama and heartfelt moments, but it also has some comedy and some tougher moments for the family dynamics as well. So I think kind of melding genres, I think, is what I
Okay.
would say is great about this, and that the
Yeah,
writing style is very sharp. I think that's what fans
that's
of
good.
Chicken Sisters will notice, is just how sharp the writing is. So if you like good writing, you like snappy dialogue, you like one
Yes.
liner,
Yes, I do. I love that. Oh, well, that's good. That makes me now I'm really excited. Now I cannot wait. Cannot wait to like I'm gonna make dinner and then I'm gonna watch it. I'm so excited. Now, this is just some comments as we go along. This
Yeah.
is funny. Rona says, I want Frank Jr. to treat his wife Amanda better. She's already riled up Amanda. She can't
You know,
let this go,
you're
Frank.
not, you're not wrong.
You're agreeing. You're
Yeah,
with it.
absolutely.
Oh goodness. All right. So what was when you were talking it made some oh, I know what I wanted to ask. I want like we're having this conversation, just a conversation together. Terrible podcasting. What about the setting? I meant to ask this to KJ before. And I don't want to like give anything away and I don't want you to give anything away, but the setting, do we get to see the homes of all of the cast members? Like, do we get to visit inside their homes? Because
Yeah, I
one
think you do. I think you get to see everyone's life, and there's also like a lot of flashbacks as well. So you get to see
okay,
some origin stories and how things have changed. And
okay.
yeah, you get to see, I think, a variety of different uh, homesteads throughout the series, and certainly, uh, yeah, certainly a number in the first episode as well, and also the restaurants and the inn that are featured in the show as well. Yeah.
Where were those actual restaurants and inns that you were
Yeah, so some the interior of the restaurants, Mimi's and Franny's, as well as the inn, were on a soundstage, but the
Mhm.
exterior, the outside, real
Mhm.
restaurants with paneling put up facade to make it look like Mimi's and Franny's. But yeah, it was a functional restaurant that we must have filmed on the day that they were closed that week, and
Okay.
yeah, but the interior shots we film on a soundstage for a variety of different reasons. But yeah, they look great. They're really well designed and very cool and sharp.
Did you have any chicken? Did they actually serve you any kind of chicken when you were there? Like, are you like, when you have to eat a little bit and not a
Yeah.
lot? Like, yes?
Yes. I don't think my character eats a ton of chicken on the show, but we definitely had chicken brought to the set a number of times. It was almost funny. The first week, there was like a lot of chicken that was served. Like everyone was kind of in this chicken mood, and then it died down for a while, and then kind of came up a little bit at the end.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a fan, so yeah,
Okay.
there was no such thing as too much. But
We were talking about this, I think yesterday on another podcast, and I was talking about how this series was coming in this chat we were going to have. And I was like, we're Italian. We don't really fry chicken. Like,
yeah.
fried chicken. We love it, but we
Yeah.
make chicken cutlets all the time. You know what I mean? We fry those up, which is different. And then we got onto this big giant discussion about all the
Mm.
different types of chicken that you could get around. And now I have like this list, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like I should go try each week one just in honor of the show.
Oh,
Just
interesting. What's
yes.
top of the list? What's the number one
Um,
draft pick here?
you know what? For the life of me, I don't remember what the name was. And it's weird because whoever was here yesterday, if you want to say in the comments and remind us.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to see if anybody in
No,
the
let's see if
comments
we do.
remembers. The one that they were suggesting, they were all excited over. Well, my person who was with me talking, my co-host, she says Popeyes. And I'm like, isn't that like a fast food? You go through the thing. She's like, don't you knock Popeyes. I'm like, okay, all right, well, I'll try Popeyes. But there was another one that I never heard of. And out of irony, today I'm talking to my students and they're doing an all about me thing. And that name came up. And I'm like, where is that? And he was telling me it's about 45 minutes from our house. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go there. And I don't remember what the name was, but I'm sure in Canada you have other places. But home isn't homemade the best? I think so. Right?
Yeah, I mean, well, what Frank Jr. would definitely say, Franny's is
Yes.
the best,
Okay.
of course. But I think there's a fried chicken can be done well in a lot of ways. You can get the fast food version that's good. You can do it at
Mhm.
home. I mean,
Mhm.
I like to grill as well.
Oh,
Um,
yum.
you know, I hold my own in that department. I'm not the best chef, but I can grill a little bit. And, you know, fancy chicken at a nice restaurant. I mean, I'm not gonna scoff at it either. I guess I'm easy to please with chicken, but
This is funny.
it's kind of, it's a universal meal that I
All right,
that I
before we go, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Before we go any further, I wanted to,
just rambling
this
about
is
chicken.
true.
That's all.
So, Christina says he kind of reminds me of Colton on The Way Home. So, are you familiar with The Way Home with Kyler Lee?
No, I don't know it that well. No.
Okay, so Jefferson is his name. Jefferson, is it Jefferson Brown? I think it is. He plays Colton,
Oh, okay.
and they're saying that you could probably play like siblings or
Oh, cool.
relatives.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's a
Yes.
possibility. Sure.
Yeah. So people time travel through a pond. So when you're, had too much and you just need to escape, Frank Jr. can just jump in the pond and show up over on the way
Where I
home.
ended up,
Like
yeah.
a crossover. Like a crossover. Oh my God, that would be great. Okay, now Frank. Does Frank have a best friend? Does he have someone to vent to? Someone he is close to? Because he's kind of a jerky guy we hear so far. So
So far, he is. I mean, the friend aspect, I'll leave that kind of alone for now. But I mean,
okay.
maybe there'll be suggestions as the season kind of continues. But he's a little bit of a lone wolf when we first meet him. He's really
Okay.
only communicating to the people at Franny's, his mother, his wife, and his daughter as well. Just kind of,
That's-
yeah, yeah,
And according to the book, and it's out there, so we know this,
yeah.
and I wanted to know if they kept it pretty similar with the storyline for the series.
Sure,
Your Frank Jr. is young when he gets married, and he's a young parent. Is that the same with the
that's the thing.
storyline here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see us in a flashback in the beginning, and then it's a very sharp cut to the reality of what the life has become as they've raised this teen daughter into high school. So,
And her name is
Frankie is the daughter's
Frankie.
name
Right.
in the
Okay.
book, played by Cassandra, who's fantastic on the show.
And did you get a chance to like get to know each other since you're, dad and daughter? Like, did you have an
Yeah,
opportunity?
yeah. We have a number of scenes together where it was just us, but over the course of shooting throughout the summer, the entire cast gelled really well, and
Nice.
people really got along and hung out and talked and got to know each other and had lunch together. So yeah, I got to know almost everyone on the cast really well. I mean, you certainly have more scenes with some people than others, but
Right.
it was a very friendly group from the creative team down. So everyone got to know each other pretty well.
Good. Is there
Yeah.
something that you're excited for us to see? Some like an Easter egg that you give us, something you want us to look out for, other than maybe how Frank, grows as we reach season 8? I'm not season 8, episode 8.
Yeah, season 8, sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I take it.
That's good. Sure. No, I mean, there's no one thing. I think just getting to know the characters throughout the season, some of the things that happen. There's a lot of drama, family drama, as well as some like very comedic seasons. See, I'm doing it.
Right. Right.
There's some very comedic scenes within the season. That's what I'm trying to say. And around episode 4, this character shows up that kind of changes Frank's
Dynamic.
point of view.
Ooh,
So
right.
I think that's pretty interesting. I'll be interested in what people think from
All right.
from
Episode 4.
yeah.
4. 4,
Yeah,
everyone.
you'll know when he shows up.
Okay, we'll know. Okay, because we'll say, "Oh, that's right. I remember you were chatting about that,"
Yeah.
which is cool. Now, Jan had a comment. It's about chicken again. Yay, James, you're right. Chicken can be prepared in so many different ways. I must say, though, for me, the dark meat is the best, depending on what you're preparing.
Yeah, I mean, grilled. I think chicken thighs grill way better than
Yes, they do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like I just think they're easier to cook. You're less likely to dry it out. I mean, you can get them nice and crispy as well. So yeah,
Oh God, I'm laughing. I'm dying because this is like chicken, 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 chicken.
I
It's like
know.
chicken. Which is funny. I'm excited that you've said it more than one time, but that there's like comedy like,
Yeah.
sprinkled in, which is good because it makes you're something serious, and then you've got the comedy, and then something mysterious or horrific, and then you have the comedy. I like when that is sprinkled
Yeah.
in.
You need a
And
little relief.
right. And now, is that for everyone? Is that just like the whole tone, or is that more with your character?
Well, I think all the characters have different moments. There's certainly some scenes that I have that are, quite comedic, and and lighter, which I think you really need for Frank. But
Right.
I think the writers too got really great as we progressed through the season, really writing in Leah and Wendy's voice, kind of
Mm,
the matriarchs of each family, and they would give them just the funniest like one liner. They have a number of scenes together where they're kind of going back and forth with dialogue.
mhm.
It's just they're masters of delivering a comedic line, and to see them working together was fabulous. Yeah,
Yeah, they are. They
yeah,
are amazing.
yeah,
All right, so we are excited. This is wonderful. We're going to definitely be I'm going to be watching soon. Rona already watched, and whoever else is here. And we have to remember that it's on Thursday nights. Now, is
yeah.
it right? Do we know if it's night or if it's day it drops? Like sometimes it's
Oh,
midnight.
that's a good question. Yeah,
Maybe it's the streaming system, or how you're streaming it. That might be what the rule is. But it's
yeah.
definitely Thursday.
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'll know. I'll need to know that. That's a really
Yeah,
good question. Yeah.
right. So apparently, like Rona, you're here. Rona, what time was it available to you that you were able to watch it? I'm just curious. Oh, you know what Rona said? We're trying to get you work here, but I know they already picked a young Colton. You would have made a great young Colton on the way home. And
Oh
we're
yeah.
yeah, like a teenage, like not a teenager, but younger. Like we haven't get he's older now, but it would be great to see him like in his 20s or something. You would
Okay.
be, yeah.
Cool.
All
Cool.
right, Rona says this morning. This
Yeah.
morning it's okay. All right.
Great.
So Thursdays, and then I'm gonna recap on Sunday nights, and then hopefully we'll get to connect as the story moves on and we can get more
I'll be
details
so
and
curious what you think, Ross.
ah, me, we're all gonna love it. Don't worry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to dig in, and I love it. Can you tell us this? This is like a spoiler, but not.
Yeah,
When
sure.
it
I'll have to.
ends, when episode 8 comes to an end, are we left hanging?
Um, I think some things are kind of buttoned up at the
Okay.
end of season
Okay.
2, but would I say that there's a cliffhanger and things left unresolved? Yeah.
Okay.
So you get a
All right.
little bit of both, but you're not. I wouldn't say you're left hanging.
All right. So season 2 has to happen. Is this that was the other thing. Are we getting there's this new thing where they do 4 episodes and that's the first half, and then there's a break, and then there's the next 4 episodes. Is that happening with this, or do you know if it's I
I don't
think
know if
solid?
it is. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
I think
Okay.
it's going weekly.
Straight through. Mm,
Yeah, I think so.
all right.
Especially with the 2 in the first week.
That's
Don't
true.
think there's yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
think it's
makes
usually
sense.
they stream them all at once, the first 4, and then you have to wait a month and then the next
Yeah,
4 with the
that's not
weekly
happening.
schedule. Yeah, I don't think it's
All
happening.
right. That's excellent. Okay, now is there anything that you would like to share with us about, and you're allowed to because I'm giving you permission, about anything else that you might want us to be on the lookout for other than the Chicken Sisters?
Well, let me think about that for a second.
I'm
No,
sorry.
definitely watch Chicken Sisters, first
We
and
are,
foremost
no doubt.
throughout the fall. Watch that first and
We
foremost.
will. We promise.
Um,
That's
no,
a
there's
given.
no project coming out immediately after this. I'm reading scripts and talking with my team
Okay.
about what we'll do
Mm,
next. But uh, I I have a short film that we're looking to distribute. It's coming to the end of its festival run that I was a producer on. That my
nice.
wife directed, Beatrice King, and so it's called "You Are the Blue," uh, with Eden Summer Gilmore from Family Law is one of
Mhm.
the lead and the star of the short. So we're looking for a place to land that online so people can stream it or on some streaming service as well.
All
Um,
right, so I'm not cutting you off. Hold that thought. I want to
yeah,
type it in here. You are, as am I getting it? The blue
yeah,
BLU.
It's about a young teen dancer who is struggling with an invisible illness and also a secret. And yeah, it's a
Mm,
really powerful story. It's only 14 minutes long. We hope as many people can see it as possible because it's got a really strong message about speaking your truth and sharing your authentic self. And even in those moments of trouble, but she's amazing in it, and Beatrice did a great job on it as well. So
all
I hope to
right.
get that to as many people as possible in the
Mm.
coming months.
Are you going to, like, on your Instagram account, or is there any way, or in any of your other social media, any way for you to share that so we would be able to
Yeah,
watch it?
yeah. The short film is in the what do you call it, in the profile, so you can follow that film itself,
Okay.
and then I'll
All right.
post on anything to stream it as well. But
Okay.
yeah, number one, get Hallmark Plus. The Chicken Sisters, number two.
Yeah.
We'll find a place for that, and hopefully everyone can watch that in the winter months as well.
Nice. All
Yeah.
right. I love that. Thank you. So we're going to say bye, good night, go have dinner. It's early afternoon for you, but to everybody else that might be
Yes.
ready for dinner. And then you and I can, after we say bye, we can say good night behind the scenes.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, Roxanne. I hope
You're
everyone
welcome.
enjoys their dinner. Hopefully, chicken tonight in
Chicken.
celebration of the
Yes.
Chicken Sisters on
Yes.
Hallmark Plus, and I'll look forward to talking with you again.
Yes. All
Thank
right. They're
you.
saying thank you. Thank you.
You.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.